May I know from the sponsor, what is the objective of this measure?
The idea of the K-12 reform is that those who don't choose to go to the academic track should have the skills already for employment. The 60% who graduate from senior high school who don't go to college should have an NC1 certification already. And the idea is they're going to end at 18 years old. They should be ready for the workforce. Right now, that is the hope of the K-12 reform, and we feel that that process needs to be supported, specifically by infrastructure that can help our students, especially those who won't push through with college, to get employed. So, Mr. President, the three goals of the Trabaho Center is career counseling, employment facilitation, and further academic industry linkage. We need to assign someone in the senior high schools to continuously work with our industries so they can check the tracking, make sure that the curriculum is on point, and that the OJT program that is part of the K-12 program will be useful for the future employment of our students. The employment facilitation is similar to a job placement office that can be found in many colleges and universities. And of course, Mr. President, the career counseling, which is currently the only function being done in our senior high schools, needs to be continued. The career counseling side is also very helpful for the students who push through with the college track because they can be guided in terms of what course to take.
Thank you for the very comprehensive response, and I joined the chairman of this committee in its objective to find employment. The bill talks about creating job placement offices, and these job placement offices will be in all public high schools nationwide. If it is for all public high schools, that's roughly 8,000. This will be an additional responsibility for the DepEd. Is that correct?
Yes, Mr. President.
The bill also talks about having at least one person in each Trabaho Center. If you have 8,000 public high schools, then at the very least, you have one person per public high school. Necessarily, kukulangin yung isa per job placement office. Assuming you had an average of 3, and I still think that probably would be very small. 8,000 times 3 employees, that's 24,000.
Yes, Mr. President.
That we will be asking the DepEd to hire. There is a fiscal cost to this.
Yes, Mr. President.
Now, magkano naman ang salary grade na to?
We pegged it, Mr. President, at salary grade 10. For the senior high schools, it's about 1.3 billion pesos, Mr. President.
How much is salary grade 10?
18,217 per month.
That's roughly at 20,000 each, 280,000 a year per person. Because the bill speaks about public high schools that start from there, 8,000 of them. Kung 3 each on the average, assuming lang, that's 24,000 additional personnel times 280,000 a year, 6.72 billion pesos. So there is a fiscal cost. And I'm glad that the gentleman mentioned earlier that there is a relationship with regard to K-12.
Yes, Mr. President.
How much would the training cost to train 24,000 Trabaho Center advocates?
Well, we don't have the exact cost right now, but DepEd does undergo continuous training programs.
But this is a new responsibility and a new training course to be administered by DepEd. Would they be college graduates?
Yes, Mr. President, we didn't put it here in Section 7. I would imagine, Mr. President, that they would be college graduates.
There is a need to clarify the qualifications and what will be their functions. Limbawa, lead teachers, salary grade 10, leading teachers. And we don't know what their qualifications will be yet.
Well,
the training they will be conducting, sila yung magtuturo in effect sa mga teacher din. Do we have a national career assessment examination?
We do, Mr. President, but it's not implemented uniformly.
Yes, and it's not done yearly, if I'm not mistaken.
They skip a few years sometimes.
Like I said, I support the objectives of the bill. My problem is the fiscal cost it would incur. And I'm looking for ways to make it more efficient, effective, and economical. The best way to employ to make sure that our children, our students, are employable is that we provide them the best quality education possible and give them the best skills needed to get employment, right? Maraming pangako ang K-12 at maraming gastos ang K-12. Can you imagine, we passed a law telling the DepEd, let's add 2 additional years. This year, we are on grade 11, the first year in senior high school. How many teachers should the DepEd hire this year?
Mr. President, I know that it's in the hundreds of thousands.
That's right.
I don't have the exact figure right now, but
That's
it's in the hundreds of thousands, Mr. President.
We have not been able to hire them yet. We will be adding pressure again on DepEd to hire additional personnel. In this case, we will call them
Career advocates.
So, isang gastos yun. Pangalawa, kulang ang classroom ng K-12. What is the backlog in classrooms?
I think it's back to about 140,000, Mr. President.
And what is the cost of that?
If I'm not mistaken, this would be 65 1.5 billion?
Much more.
Higher,
Kulang
Mr.
na
President.
kulang yun. Could we ask the committee to submit this data? Because I'd like also to take this opportunity, get an update on K-12, because this bill is in relation also to
Yes.
K-12. Yung